Let me start this off by noting that my friends and I were obsessed with two things: Instagram and sleepover games. We love to have sleepovers so much that we could do it 3 times a week. It's mostly fun because I have amazing friends. My friend group is composed of 4 people: Vanessa, Allison, Casey, and me. But Casey doesn't always come to a sleepover since she's always busy at home. So it's mostly just me and other 2 girls. One of the games that we usually play during a night together is Truth and Dare, the classic, right? I mean, who doesn't love good few rounds of Truth and Dare? It was obvious much that Truth and Dare was a go-to game because we almost ran out of daring dares and undiscovered truth, especially because we are too close. We almost knew everything about each other. Over time, the game just got boring, overused, that nothing interesting ever comes out of it. Well, that was until 8th of February 2020. We're having one of our usual sleepovers, just Allison, Vanessa, and me, when one of them suggested we play Truth and Dare. I couldn't exactly remember who suggested. I remember groaning and saying that it was no fun, but one of them insisted and said she just thought of something that must switch up one night. So I agreed. I ended up having the first dare, since we played it in a way that if the first 2 people picked truth, the third one should pick dare. Like I said, classic. So one of them dared me to open my Instagram and to DM the last person in my notification. I rolled my eyes before doing it, as I was told and saw that I just got a like from a profile name, Forever Savvy 143, 2 minutes ago. I don't personally know this person, but I tolerate a lot of people in my profile since I've got quite a huge following. And this user has been in my notification recently or always, I wasn't sure. I mean, sweet, right? So I went on to DM this person and thought I could say whatever I wanted to. But then one of my friends cut me off, saying something along the line of, "Hey, hold up. So you're going to tell this person that you have been hopelessly in love with them for so long, and that it might sound creepy, but you want a chance on a relationship with them." I was glaring at my friends, who started giggling. Right after they said that, I didn't even try to suggest otherwise. I just went on with it. Not a minute later, I got a response from the person saying, I quote, "Oh my god, you have no idea how long I have been waiting for this to happen. I have loved you for so long too." This message astounded me. I was about to sheepishly say sorry and explain what has been happening when I got another message from this person. "I have loved you since 7th grade. I love the way your hair looks and smell. I love how every shirt looks perfect on you." The person proceeded. I was getting a little bit creeped out, so I called my friends to take a look at this response, but I wasn't half as spooked as I was when I was reading the next thing that the person sent to me. She sent me a picture of myself sleeping with only my undergarments on, with the message saying, "I love this night the most. You were so drunk that I had to watch sleeping for 7 hours without you waking up. And I love those black fabric on you. Makes sense that it is your favorite pair." I was mind blown and literally shaking. I couldn't come up to focus on one thought. My mind was swirling in confusion. I had gotten few responses after that, which I no longer have seen enough to read because I was listening to my heart as it was pounding rapidly. I ended up reporting it to the police and they helped me figure out who the user was, but nothing about the person who was sending me those messages, because my creepy stalker turned out to be my best friend since 7th grade, Casey. It was just me, my little sister, and my mom at home. It was around 2, maybe 3. I'm 15 years old female, was woken up by my dog barking non-stop in the lounge room. He is a little dog, so he barks at everything. I went outside in the lounge room and walked to the front door. I should mention, it's made of glass. I picked up my dog and saw a 30-year-old man passed out on the front mat. Worried he was hurt, I opened the door and asked him if he was okay and if he needed anything. He looked at me stunned and just mumbled, "I'm okay." I should mention, young people passing out was normal, as my brother had people over all the time. It was dark, so I couldn't really see at the time that he was older. I could feel something was off, so I went and got my mom and went to bed. She came in and said, "Don't worry about it. He's gone. Go back to sleep now." About 15 minutes later, I heard the doorknob jingle again. He had come inside and now was walking around. I was petrified. I peeked out of my room to see what was happening. My dog was going crazy. This was the weird part. He was looking intensely at family photo and just gazing around the house. I kind of watched for a second in disbelief before I slipped away into my mom's room with my dog. I told mom he was in the house and we called the police. I had never seen my mom so scared. It was like I was having to comfort her. I remember she was holding a wine bottle while I was on the phone to police. We kept hearing him pace up and down the hallway. He never entered the room. I had a little sister who was upstairs. We were so worried. It took 45 minutes until the police arrived. When we told them about everything, they just told us that there wasn't much they can do. He was gone. A couple of days later, my mom told me that on that night, he had told her, "I know your family. I know your life. I watch you. You tempt me." I understood why she was so scared. Around a month later, we were having lunch outside on the front porch, and he just walked over in the light of day. He looked at me directly into my eyes and asked me if I had seen whale. I had never in my life ever met a whale. My brother, realizing who it was, told him he needed to leave. So he did, and went into my room for hours. About a week later, it was around Christmas, and I was home alone, watching TV. It was around 9 p.m. I saw, out of the corner of my eye, his face pressed against the front door. He was grinning and pointing at me. I honestly felt like I was going to die. I went into the hallway, only place without windows, and crouched down crying. I knew police would take forever, so I called my friend, and she was over in 10 minutes. This was the last time I saw him. Detective came to my house a couple of days later and explained everything. He was a paranoid schizophrenia who had serious drug habits. The night I was home alone, he assaulted multiple women. He thought I was someone I wasn't and was sadly delusional. I now have a restraining order against him and he's locked up. I suffered for a while from PTSD, but now I'm happy and healthy. Growing up, I always wanted my personal laptop. The issue wasn't money. I was not allowed to have internet or social media in my household. I failed countless school assignments due to not having the ability to do it at home. Pretty messed up place to grow up. Safe to say, as soon as I turned 18, I bathed the hell out of that house. As soon as I was free, I rented a room from a friend. I fell in love with the internet and all it had to offer. I would use my friends/roommate laptop to learn as much as I could. I discovered social media and online shopping. I was swept up in the bidding on eBay. It was exciting at first. Then I would lose my shit after being outbid at the last minute. I started off by buying used clothes and shoes. The next thing I got was an Xbox 360 for less than $100. Mind you, this was 2007. My roommate started to get pissed that I was always on his laptop. So that was the next item on my list. I was browsing for a cheap laptop when I ran across a Sony VIO. The seller only wanted $150. I clicked on buy now. When I did, my heart leaped. No bidding and free shipping. I entered my credit card number and bought it. It took a week and the laptop arrived. When I got home, I tore into the box. It was basically brand new. I hooked it up to the internet and started exploring it. It worked like a charm. Only thing that I couldn't get to work was the webcam or mic. But this laptop was still basically. I emailed the seller to let them know about the malfunction. They basically said, they responded saying that they were willing to let me keep the laptop and give me full refund. I was shocked. I felt so lucky. The problem started a few weeks later. The first thing that I noticed was on my MySpace feed. People were commenting and laughing at me. I opened my page and saw that there were pictures of me from far away. In this picture, I was wearing nothing but towel as I had just gotten out of the shower. I was shocked who had taken the picture. I was quick to delete it and played it off as a joke. When my roommate got home, I was quick to laugh and let him know it was a good prank. He told me he had no clue what I was talking about. I quickly explained the situation. He let me know that he didn't do it since he was at his girlfriend's house at the time. We had a few beers and I quickly forgot about it. The next night was one of the strangest yet. After messing around on my MySpace, I shut off my laptop and decided to go drink and smoke with my roommates and his friends. One of his friends was on MySpace and noticed that I just posted some strange shit, basically saying that I was a horrible shit. The post ended up with a picture of me on my bed with the girl that I was seeing at the time. In capital letters, it asked, "Wanna see more?" I froze. They were silent. No one knew what to say. They couldn't explain how I had posted since my laptop was in my room. One of them asked me to see my laptop and I went to go get it. When I walked into the room, the laptop was on. I clearly remember turning it off. This was strange. I made my way to the living room. My roommate's buddy was in the college for a degree in computer science and coding. He ran a scan and started to look at the coding. At first glance, he saw nothing. But after a second glance, he saw that the hardware had been altered and the CPU microcoding had been altered to ignore microcoding. Basically, set up a backdoor by replacing the root password. We all stared at him in silence. He grabbed a piece of paper and a marker. Shutting down the laptop, he started writing frantically. When he was done, he passed it around. They were controlling a webcam and microphone remotely. They can hear you. I grabbed the laptop and went full chimp on it, smashing it against the counter. I took the remaining pieces and soaked them in the sink with the running water. Safe to say, I learned my lesson about buying used electronics on eBay.